Hello and welcome to all the ghouls and vampires out there to another 5-minute reviews. And I figured I'd take a look at the 2010 Wolfman reboot movie from 2010 that's readapting the 1941 classic of The Wolfman, where the 1941 movie was one Dana and I recently watched and enjoyed. This one I watched on my own, and I have to admit, I hated it. I mean, it's so dark that you can't see a darn thing. You don't know what's going on half the time because half the characters are whispering and mumbling their lines. Clearly, no effort was put in on the acting side. Emily Blunt, who's usually very good looking, actually looks very muted and, well, not very good looking. And at least in this film, not her fault. It's the makeup people and the dress design. Ugh, the costume design people, fire them. And I only say that because no one quite looks quite right. The servant doesn't make any sense because this would be 19th century England, which is to say a period in England before it was filled with minorities and whatnot, so that having a Muslim on staff would be very, very odd and very peculiar in the countryside. This is not 21st century England. As for the decision to have the father be a weirdo the way he is, that's very odd. In the original 41 film, it's more in the background, not in the foreground, and you never get a sense that the father doesn't love his son or doesn't want to make an effort to make peace. In this film, you never get the sense that he even tries. So, yeah, not great. The actor they chose for Larry Talbot is terrible. He's not beefy like Lon Chaney Jr. is, who was really muscled and strong and tall. He's mumbling. He's the worst actor in this film and has no talent whatsoever and has no capability of projecting the kind of air of panic and grief and pain that Lon Chaney Jr. does. And the whole Gwen Larry romance doesn't make any sense here. She's his brother's widow, I think. And that adds an element of weirdness to it. On top of that, you never get any sense of chemistry between the two. I mean, Emily Blunt tries a little from time to time. He doesn't. And really, in the original, Gwen was a fairly cheerful young woman, at least until the werewolf attack. So why not go with that? I mean, why do they have to basically write a new script when they could just go into the archives and grab the old one and simply adapt that with a few extra scenes here and there? But instead, they just go with what they've got and they just never light the set. I mean, is it too hard to flick on a light? This movie, I'm going to rate a 0. There's nothing to appeal. There's nothing good in here. I can't think of a single scene I liked. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you were a werewolf tearing apart said button.